Welcome to the Free Woman Podcast, a space for all women who are ready to break free of the inauthentic life. Hello, Free Woman.
Hi, Free Woman.
We're so happy to have you here with us today.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on, checking out our podcast today. How are things?
Taking a moment out of your busy life.
Oh, I know. I'm just like, we said this last week. We are here.
I'm like, well, sigh is a nice way to put it because I kind of want to go and like kick my feet and throw my fists.
Yeah, have like a little kid tantrum.
It kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
I've been feeling pretty frustrated. And I think the frustration has kind of just like settled to this low-level depressed feeling.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, that sinking feeling of the bottomless pit of
despair. There's all of these things in my world that I wish were a different way, but I am powerless to change them. And eventually the frustration just becomes this like brokenness.
Hopelessness.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to be like really sad sounding. I just don't know what other way to say it.
Yeah, we may be doing some ugly laugh crying in this episode. So I guess we should say, okay, how was your week? How are you doing? We're just jumping right on board. And I mean, it's pretty obvious. It sounds like we're kind of like feeling heavy today. Are you feeling heavy? Anyone else out there?
Yeah. Are we the only ones? Is the little rain cloud just over us?
I know. Oh man, it's just so hard.
I mean, I always tell myself, I'm like, man, everyone's just going through stuff, but I think it's just to make myself feel a little less alone.
Oh, well, and we have each other, so it kind of helps when we're both like feeling it too. And it's like, man, today's just, I mean, I felt good yesterday, and then today I just woke up and I took my kids to school, and this week is their week to be back with their dad because I'm a divorcee. And sometimes I'm like, oh, whew, okay, that was a lot with the kids. I'm glad they're going. I get a little breather. But that's about maybe 20% of the time. The other 80% of the time, I'm just like really sad and heartbroken. And I know when they come back, it's going to be like start over again with the transition of them coming to me from their dads and the emotions.
Yeah, the week on, week off has become really the trend in the co-parenting community, and I just hated it. I felt like it was so hard with my kids because their dad and I had such different households and such different rules and ways and routines and ways of parenting, and a week is just enough time for them to start settling into a new way of being before they get jerked back to another place.
And then they have to kind of adjust and adapt to the way you parent or the way you run your household. And, it's a lot for these kids. Like, sometimes I'm like, God, are you guys okay?
Yeah, it's really frustrating as a parent when you go through the divorce that so often the courts get to decide what is in the best interest of the children, and the courts don't even know
They
don't know the kids personally. At the most, your kids might get an interview, and then they're supposed to make decisions on what's in the best interest of these children.
I know, and for you, and God,
based on just like one meeting.
Yeah, and they really don't take. I mean, okay, the system's just it's fucked anyways. Like, it's not great. Like, they don't even take the time to really see the abuse that is happening with one parent versus another parent who is actually not abusive. And where we live, the system doesn't really go well for the mother usually.
Yeah, I've heard about other places that are very mother friendly, but we're not in one of those places, those far off, beautiful.
That's like a
fairy tale place
where the court judge actually like makes sure the mother is going to be
taken
okay.
care of. Yeah.
well, anyways, that's a dream. But how are you,
that's just
Jayenna?
a summary of, I guess, why things are heavy right now.
Well, and also, I'm just really poor too. And I'm tired of being in this like situation. And it's like you try to like come up with solutions to like get yourself out of this. But it is really hard as a single mother to, especially when you've been sick and exhausted, like bone deep tired, and then you're just expected to do all of this like adulting.
I know. I'm like, could I just have an Eeyore day?
An Eeyore day, yeah.
Can we just have like a moment of self-pity and I don't want to do anything and want.
Wah, wah, wah. I know. Can I just sit on the couch today in my pajamas and just cry?
Well, there is something to that. We need a way to process these emotions, but we're so busy and things are so high demand that you can't take a day.
You can't afford to take a day.
can't
Have you seen how
afford.
much every rent costs? How much groceries cost?
In
Like,
American culture, you can't just, take a day to cry.
if I take a day off, then I'm behind like 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's gonna show up and the productivity police are gonna be like, "Oh, here's why you're poor. Look at you, you lazy single
You
mom, just
lazy,
laying on the
you just-
couch."
Well, and what's funny is I actually like battle that in my head often. Like, man, I'm just lazy, or the failure comes through my. That's the other voice that comes into my head often is like, man, we just are failing.
We have such a negative view of the poor. We've kind of been brainwashed or had this narrative. It's almost like being poor is a crime.
It is, or like these. It's like
How dare you? Like, what have you done wrong?
or they just don't try hard enough. And well, let me tell you, from being from the bottom, I am trying.
From my view at the bottom, I can just tell you it's not what they say.
Yeah, well, and it's just so hard to get yourself out from the bottom too, especially when you're raising kids, especially when you're the parent that is emotionally taking care of the children and still doing all the parenting stuff. I mean, I should, my ex does have money, so he does like buy the kids like almost everything and then even more some, but then it becomes a problem on my side because I have to constantly say I can't just go buy you whatever you want whenever you want, and then you have just this like built up of like, oh wow, there's the failure again.
Yeah, it's not though. It's not a failure, and it's a good lesson for your kids to see that things do cost money and that people can't just live that way.
And things are not just handed to you as well.
Yeah. This price tag with numbers on it actually means something.
Well, and it's good to learn how to like kind of budget your money. And the one thing I have to say about being in the situation I'm in now, when I am going to buy something, it's almost exciting when I've like earned and worked enough money to like buy something I really want now, and then I really want it and value it more than when before I used to just buy whatever I want when I wanted. So
I mean, it's a lot like dieting.
yeah,
If you're really being careful with what you eat, then those treats mean all the more. Each
really
bite is like
does.
you have to savor each bite,
God,
right?
I really love this chocolate
Oh my
chip cookie
gosh,
right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good, and you eat it a little bit slower too, and sometimes let it melt in your mouth, and that chocolate just
Yeah, it's like that, but money.
yeah, just like that with money. Yeah, it's a really hard place to be in, but it teaches you a lot too of like, what do you really need? And I'm trying to show that and teach it to my kids, but it's hard when the other parent is doing the opposite.
Yeah, it creates a very frustrating situation.
So-
It's a way to make you seem less than or incompetent.
Well, it's just financial abuse too, but God, that's just like
It
a-
is. That's like a whole topic in and of
I mean,
itself.
I'm in therapy for that, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
like my therapist and I still are sorting that one out. So
Yeah.
maybe another day.
Maybe next week we can talk about that when I see her. Oh, just kidding. I see her next week. So,
This is a pretty deep one, man.
oh, it is. Yeah. The financial abuse is really difficult, but, and it also just goes back to like my parents and the way my parents managed money and my like ancestors. Like my ancestors,
Well, their generational poverty
It
is
is.
a thing.
Yeah,
For a reason.
yeah, it's really hard to pull yourself out of it. And I thought I was doing a pretty good job, but then,
Well,
life.
it's like when there's a crack in a dam and you put a Band-Aid over it and you're like, all better. And then suddenly it just goes boom, and all the water pours out. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe that didn't solve the problem.
Yeah, so that's been my life, just a dam breaking. And
Well, I feel like a lot of people like think they've overcome these generational patterns or relationship like toxicities, but really they've just put a Band-Aid over a geyser. And eventually it's going to burst
It
loose.
does,
And
yeah.
they'll just be so frustrated because they thought that very simple, very easy solution was enough.
And it is not from personal experience. It does not work.
Really, we actually live close to where a dam has broken, and
Yeah.
it destroyed an entire community.
Yeah, it did. Actually, my grandparents, my mom was a little girl when that broke.
So I can see why people really hope the Band-Aid will work, because replacing the dam is expensive, and when you put it off long enough, it causes great destruction.
It destroys everything.
So that is kind of like your life.
And you're not allowed time off to rebuild what the dam broke.
No.
First to even like sit there and realize what happened.
Well, everyone's like sitting there judging with their own dam with the Band-Aid over it, right? Their own leak they're like, well, my Band-Aids are working just fine. Like, you need to figure your shit out.
Yeah, you can't even notice that they're judging you because you're just like got all this water
There's
destruction
just like
coming at you.
a car floating by.
And then after the water settles and you're like sitting there and you're like, nobody.
Your kids are floating on a raft with you. People are like, wow, you should really be a better mom.
I know. And then you're like, man, I thought people were going to show up. I thought somebody would help. But no, they didn't want to come around.
No one's going to help me rebuild?
No.
Like a barn building party or whatever they used to do.
No, they don't want to because they're afraid if they don't.
They're busy keeping their own
keeping
situation.
their Band-Aid working,
place.
the adhesive strong on their dam because they don't want
They're
their
putting some
dam.
epoxy over that. And
Yeah. They're like, oh boy, if we go away.
did you all see what happened to Kat? Like,
Yeah.
we do not want to go through that.
Don't go over there because then our dam might break.
Some of that water will rub off.
Yeah. So no help.
Just in the mud, up to your neck.
Yeah.
With a shovel that's like a little kid shovel.
Oh, I know. It does feel that way sometimes, and then you get the little messages when I meditate and I sit with it and they're like, just be patient.
It just takes time.
Just takes time. And I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a maturing process too, because like the Band-Aid is the quick fix, right?
Uh-huh.
And as you mature and do your work, you realize that some things just take time. They just take a lot of time.
Like maybe your whole life on your deathbed time.
You might be actually doing this work for the next generation. This might not even be something that you get to reap the benefits of in your life.
Yeah,
And
but
that's a very mature thing to do.
It is, but you know what? If this is your like life work, like helping heal this part of yourself, you are going to help the next generation. You're going to help if you do have children, but even if you don't have children, just the people around you, you are helping those around you to heal.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like if everything's a toxic wasteland from all the trauma, even if you can just heal your 1 acre and get the soil able to grow something.
yeah, let's help that soil.
That spreads, and that is beneficial for generations and generations and generations.
It really is. And so, even if my destructive land from the flood of my dam breaking never really grows any grass again or
At least not during your life.
or has any like buildings, at least I'm doing this work for my children. It always comes back to them. Every time I'm having a hard moment or feeling like I can't do it, I think of them and I'm like, I'm doing this for these guys. Because that's kind of the thing I swore to when I had them was I'm not going to let them go through, as a parent, you can't prevent everything, but I was like, I'm going to give them better because we want that, right? And then I just don't want them to have the heaviness I've had in my life. Granted, they're going to have their things, but
Well, it's kind of the opposite of what a narcissistic person does, where they avoid and they avoid and they avoid and they avoid accountability. And it's taking complete accountability for your peace in this world, for your acre plot in this world.
Absolutely. And just what you kind of came with too from like your ancestors, your family, your
There are
DNA.
things you didn't choose and things you chose, but you know what? It's your mess.
Yeah, and my family's mindset, we've always just been kind of poor. They were farmers. They came out as pilgrims out west, and it was always this feeling. It was like, well, this is good enough.
I think you mean pioneers.
Pioneers. What did I say?
Pilgrims.
Oh well, whatever.
No, sorry. It just caused like a brain fart for me where I'm like, something was not right about what she just. I just like had to sit with it.
That's why we have each other. Oh,
It's so close and
pioneering out west.
they pilgrimed out west.
I don't know. It could work.
It's very similar, right?
Oh my God. Well, anyways, somebody probably would have let us know I said that wrong.
I don't know. You did it pretty smooth. It was like, it's like when someone says the wrong word, but it sounds so right, and it just like does something in your brain.
I'm just really good at that. So.
But then I was just like, wait. It's like there's an itch here. I have
Something's wrong.
Find it.
Well, just expect that from me from now on because that's what I do. I always use the wrong words, and then Jane is like, you mean this word? I'm like, oh yeah, that actually is the right one.
It's fine.
But yeah, so
what are words really?
What are words really?
They're all just made up.
They are.
At some point in time, someone made up that word.
Yeah, they did. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Especially in the English language. It's such a blend of things.
It is. Well, thank you for making me feel better.
Yeah, so you're just,
That's what friends are for, right?
evolving language. But yes, your family pioneered out here.
Yeah, so what I was getting at is that they, poverty, farmers, what you got is good enough. Are you too good?
Well, there's a lot of that with people that have Mormon ancestry, that have pioneer ancestry, because the early pioneers in the Mormon church, they practiced, I guess you'd call it communism, where they gave up all of their goods, all of their wealth to Brigham Young when they got here.
And I didn't know this. I just learned about this. I'm like, what?
Yeah, there was kind of a dramatic story in my family history where the wife didn't want to give up their belongings and she hid some of their wealth and she got in trouble when they found out. And her husband handed all of it over to Brigham Young. And then, he died. And what did she get to do? She got to go become like wife number 3 to someone.
Oh, so her husband died.
Uh-huh.
And then, oh my gosh.
And she had nothing. And she was a woman in early Utah. And she just got married off to, some other gross man.
Is this in like the 1800s?
Yeah, it's Brigham Young.
So Brigham Young, 1800s,
They
Utah.
came from England.
What else is a woman to do?
Yeah, and they
Especially
had financial security. They had wealth. He was a mason and, was like basically like an architect and was working and successful in Europe and came to Salt Lake City, gave everything he owned to Brigham Young. And then he died working on the temple. And
oh man, that's awful.
And so she went from, very comfortable life, thinking she married an established man, to a cult in Utah.
Well, I'm starting to feel a little bit better about
having
myself
to get
now.
remarried. And so there's a lot of poverty in people from Mormon backgrounds, from those early pioneer backgrounds.
Well, it was almost
poverty trauma.
Yeah. The poverty trauma is really it's a tricky one to get yourself out of. Just this mindset of like self-worth too. or what I have is enough, and there's almost like a guilt of like wanting more.
Well, and it doesn't help that society puts so much value on how much money people have. It's directly connected to your status and it's being seen as successful or
Yeah. Well, just look how we treat like all the movie stars, and
yeah,
they're
and
like
yet,
royalty now.
like look at the quality of people we have in the upper class. Like, I mean, they're not the most emotionally evolved deep people.
No, they're not. But we worship them as if they are. Anything they say or do, it's like we just, not me, not you, but a majority of people just follow them like lost rats.
So our value system is all topsy-turvy, and then you have people going through really hard things, and it's pretty difficult to go through trauma work and not have it affect your financial situation.
This is Sheila.
She's here to help with the podcast.
If you're not watching the video, we have our cat.
She just popped up right between us in front of the mic, so.
She's like, oh, what are you guys doing?
See, cats have it figured out. She's like, I don't know why you guys are depressed because my life is great and I never work. So maybe figure that out.
Yeah, I know.
She's like, I just took a 7-hour nap. So, and now I'm just going to go stare
at us and clean myself.
Maybe take a bath, maybe nap some more.
I know, I wouldn't mind being a cat. That would be great.
Yeah, so, well, it just shows how out of the natural cycle we are too, where animals, they have these natural rest cycles and, you know, they hunt or gather or whatever it is they need to do for food, but it's pretty small percentage of their day with rest taking up the rest and play.
Yeah.
But humans, man,
we are not allowed that. It's like this guilt of if you try to stop and rest and let your body heal, you're like lazy.
Especially
not trying
as
hard enough.
Especially as a woman, because not only as a modern woman do we want to build something for ourselves career-wise or, you know, have financial independence. And so we have that stressor in our life. We also feel more responsibility for the children, for the home upkeep, and for our physical upkeep too. And so there's all of these stressors. There are not enough hours in the day.
Not at all. Like, yeah, I think one of the hardest things for me is like when I actually I had to stop and rest, because if I didn't, my body was going to start shutting down.
When you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
And they're like, you almost died.
You need to rest. And it's like, I can't. If I stop, I don't think I'm going to be able to actually get back up and do what I was doing
if
before.
I stop, we don't eat. If I stop, we don't have a place to live. If I stop, my children are going to be homeless. It's like, how do you be healthy?
I know.
And to do all of these things?
You can't. It's impossible. Free woman, have you gone through this? Tell me, please. Like,
are we alone?
Are we alone? I think we are just being pushed and asked so much for one human to do everything.
So isn't depression actually the healthy response? Isn't this actually the healthy human response? It's, how do you understand all of this, face the reality of all this, become aware, don't live in a fantasy world, and not feel depressed? Well, and add to that feelings of failure too, because we're raising children in this world and we're seeing how it is affecting them.
I know. Well, the kids, their anxiety is much higher than I think than when we were kids.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and depression too, and it's because they're just not getting the. I think they sense the stress and the depression, and just from their parents. And also, I think they're just not getting the time.
Well, I mean, they see the flood that happened, the dam that broke. They are aware that mom is pushing them around on a raft.
That's true. They were very much They were very much there when the dam broke.
Our kids aren't dumb.
No, they're not.
They also recognize that they're going to be adults in this world and that this world is not the best.
It's not. Well, I know. I'm just like, I don't even have words. I'm like, what are they going to do?
I know. And it's been weighing really heavily on me because I have children that are about to go out on their own. They're turning 18 this year, and in a year and a half, I'm going to have 2 adults, legally adults. Let's face it.
That doesn't mean they actually are going to be adults.
Loose term.
Yeah. Well, they're expected to kind of go out in the world and start making their own life and
carving their way, and everything is stacked against them, and everything has gotten so much more expensive even for, us as adults. And so how do we help them the same way that our parents helped? Some of our parents helped us.
Oh, yeah. My parents did not. That will be another episode.
Like, good luck, baby bird.
Yeah. Kick you out. Boo.
And Mama's going to a new nest, so you can't come back.
No, you can't. You can't. And don't expect any help at all.
Oh, and by the way, we clipped your wings for you, but you'll figure it out. We did.
Yeah. And then they're just like, I can't wait for her to figure it out. And
thunk.
And like, suffer. She's going to suffer. Ha, ha, ha.
I know. Well, it's pretty dark.
It is pretty dark.
I was like, oh, wow.
I know. Well, guys, that was my upbringing. And
well, I'm experiencing the opposite.
Yeah, you
where
are.
I'm seeing my children and I'm like, there's still so many things for them to learn. And man, that world is ugly out there.
It is. It's a little terrifying.
And it is not easy. And they have their sweet naivete.
They do.
Naivete?
No, that's really cute. However you say is always cute. It sounds like you're from somewhere else. Naivete.
We'll just say that that's my foreign accent.
She's holding her cup of tea and saying her naivete.
Yeah, they do not understand. Like, listening to their plans, you try not to kind of laugh. You're like, yeah, that's an idea.
I have to kind of curl my lips in and try to bite myself from saying anything or laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's cute. It's like, oh, I remember when I was that age. They're so
well, and you just know the inevitable. They are going to get hit in the face with a brick.
Yeah.
And a brick called bills, insurance,
Rent.
debt, rent, and that their poor little dreams. And
I know.
they're gonna come home and it's not like we can set up a trust fund for them while they fumble around and fall on their faces.
No, we're not. Well,
we're not that rich.
I was going to say, well, we already know I'm not, but Jayenna has a home.
I have a home, but I don't have multiple homes or these kinds of resources. I am middle class.
Well, and I think
middle class, which is slowly becoming barely surviving.
I know. So that's starting to shrink and change. Well, the thing I keep wanting to say too is rent, having a place to rent, like an apartment or even a small house, was kind of the idea of being able, it would be less than a house. So you could actually save and work towards buying a house. But that is the opposite now. Rent, where we are average for an apartment, because, I've kind of looked. I'm anywhere for a 3-bedroom, because that's what my family would be, is $1,800 to $2,500. Okay, so
and we live in rural Idaho.
Yeah. So, and 4 years ago, I was paying $1,200 a month for these places.
Yeah,
for a
these were
bedroom.
these were big city prices a few years ago.
Yeah.
And now the big cities are even more insane too.
So it's this feeling of, what do we do?
I'm you can say these numbers, but what do these numbers even mean?
Yeah.
Are people just making up numbers? They're $10 million.
I know.
I'm what does this even mean?
I know. I think they're just trying to see how high they can go.
They're oh, someone's paying it. They must really be desperate.
Well, the problem that's happening in where we live now is because people from bigger cities are coming in because they're trying to get away from their big city prices, and they're coming here and they're saving a lot. But it's kicking all of the locals out, so now none of us
can
afford it.
I think it's just I don't think it's just that.
Well, I think that's one of the things.
I think that's one of the things. But I think it was going to happen regardless.
It was going to happen. So anyways, going back to the kids leaving home, and it just seems a little hopeless. So yeah, so these are the reasons why we're feeling kind of heavy today.
Yeah, I think that it's been discouraging to fight so hard every step of the way to try to create a healthy environment for my kids. And it's felt like everything has been stacked against me. Granted, I married an asshole and had children with him. It's a very mentally ill man. Maybe that's a kinder way to say it. A very mentally ill individual with a lot of trauma.
And you were young too.
But
you
that's
didn't
the
know.
thing, is everything was set up to like a cattle being steered in a direct towards, the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Down this corral where I was raised in this fundamental religion that I was strongly encouraged to get married right away. And so I got married at 19, and I was not fully developed. I was not financially independent. I did not have my own set of even values, or like individuation had not been given time to occur.
Well, that's kind of the thing. They want you to get married at that age. The religion we grew up in, they want you to get married right after high school, so you don't like have that time to self-discover.
It's definitely a manipulation technique that a lot of, I guess you could say, cults use. They try to find you when you're at those vulnerable points, and get you locked in. It's something abusive relationships do too. But yeah, so we got married, and then I am supposed to have babies right away, and I do. I had my first at 21, and then it's just like, as I, finally get my adult brain a few years down the road, and I'm trying to figure out how to build something better for my kids. How am I supposed to?
Yeah, you have all these things like just against you.
And then I'm like fighting. And so now we're 18 years later, because my oldest is turning 18 in a couple months. And I am just seeing the areas I was not able to, and I can have grace with myself that I was not able to rescue them from these certain things because of the way things were stacked against me from certain abuse cycles and stuff. But it is this feeling of like sort of despair.
It is.
You know what I mean?
I do.
I literally just threw myself on the knife for them again and again and again, and
then there's nobody
still
there.
Not enough.
No one's there to help. I know. I've been feeling that with my kids, because my kids are 13 and 11, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I still have time to maybe save them, but they're getting to that age where they're starting to make their choices, and it's like, how much can you do when you have this entire, like, not only like their father, but also the father just behaves that's according and okay to the entire system and the way society is here, and they like just all pat him on the back because he pays for food for them, but not the mother. Like, none of them know that I'm actually homeless. But yeah, they just think he's such a great dad, and he's not. And so it's just this constant like battle of, man, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough for my kids or for the future?
Really just only one human.
Yeah,
and that's where I think the despair comes in, where you feel like you have extended yourself beyond even what's humanly reasonable, and it's still not enough. And there's kind of a feeling of despair or depression that comes in because it's this helplessness. But I guess, to be fair, even in ideal circumstances, even if we had been able to parent exactly how we wanted to parent and everything was perfect according to our standards of perfect, sometimes kids just come with things, and they're going to have their lessons they have to learn. But we weren't really told that. When everyone was like, be a mom, it's so magical. And these kids, they come with their things, and it is so painful to watch someone you love so much suffer and not be able to do anything about it.
It's like the most painful, deep, bone deep sadness I've ever had to feel.
How do you describe this?
Yeah, it's really sad when you feel like you're not going to be able to help your kids. But like you said, sometimes kids just come with like their own journey, like their own things that they have to learn. And you have to kind of step back and let them go down that path too, and really hope that maybe one day they see it.
Yeah.
And they might circle back around to you.
You know, a lot of people have even stopped having kids for this reason, because they feel like there aren't opportunities. They feel like it's not a good environment for raising kids.
Or they can't afford it.
They just can't afford it.
They're like, we can't even afford ourselves.
I know.
Like, why would I have a kid?
I know. And so I think that being a parent right now is just, it does feel like an impossible situation.
It does. But, you know, I do have to say this. I do have to say that I am really proud of us. And that's because we've done the thing that our mothers didn't do. We're doing the thing that's not easy, and we're kind of going against the grain, and we are teaching our kids like there is another way to do things.
We both have been willing to let that dam explode.
Oh, yes, we did. Oh, did it ever?
To the displeasure of our mothers. We have embraced the messiness of that healing journey. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it's been really nice to have each other, because, you know, when you're muddy and all of your possessions are at the bottom of a lake,
and you may not even have any possessions left, and
it can feel really lonely. And then when you're also trying to raise children amidst it, and the whole reason we're doing the trauma work is because we want something better for our children, right? We want that like acre of land to not be toxic waste when they inherit it.
Exactly. I want them to have a good plot of land.
Yeah, maybe a few seeds might grow. Yeah. Maybe it'll just be potatoes, but it's okay. It's something.
Well, and you know what? I have to say, like, yes, I'm doing that for my kids, but I'm absolutely doing it for myself too. And one of the things that I love about our title is the free woman, because I feel like I am that free woman now. Yes, it is hard.
We might only own a single raft, but it is ours.
But I am free.
You have your flag on that raft. It is Cat's.
Yes, and I still feel this way. I'm like, man, I'd rather be in this and be back with my ex-husband.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather be
definitely
with this single raft than back in that like perfect house that I created with him that was pretending. I wasn't being authentic to myself. I kept betraying myself. I didn't even know what was going on, but now I do. But
yeah, I had that thought several times when things were going very poorly, and I was like, at least I'm not married to him.
So free woman, if you're feeling like things are hard, things are low, just kind of go back to that thought. I mean, it could be worse,
or
right?
Or if you're afraid to leave a toxic situation because you're afraid that it's going to be messy, just know that we have never once regretted.
Never.
Not even a little bit.
No.
And Kat is homeless.
I'm homeless. So I was like, God, I'd rather live in my car.
And it is so worth it because, like we've said, it's been hard for our kids because we have exploded the trauma all over everything. And there's just no nice, clean, and tidy way to do this kind of stuff.
Oh, no, it's messy. It's messy.
It is a freaking shit show.
Yeah, some days you're just crying. Some days you're so numb. And
you're not going to be the cool kid at the party.
No, you're not. I mean, there was like a few happy days in there, right?
I mean, people might not even invite you to the party because they're like, she's just going to bring in that really real depressing shit.
She just brings in the
written
heavy,
all over her.
heavy truth. You just look at her,
Well,
you
when
know.
people are like, what have you been up to? And you're like, well, I just moved into my friend's basement. You know, it's just not great for like small talk at a party.
It's not. It really is not. The invites have really gotten less. But I've also not really been around people either. It's just been a journey in itself. So
yeah, unless they want to make, you know, you like a charity project or something. That seems to be the way people understand how to interact with it. So, and I experienced it too when I went through my stuff. And sometimes I still experience it when I, you know, get real honest about my divorce or my custody battle. Or I think people don't quite know what to do with something that is that dark standing right in front of them.
they don't.
They're just like, oh, well, anyway.
Well, I mean, if I go back to 10 years ago me when I was 32, no, I would...
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't know how to have these conversations.
I think, like the other day, I was talking to a friend and I mentioned mourning a child that's still alive, and I could see them just be like, oh.
What do I say? What do I do?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Other people maybe haven't gone through something that bad. maybe don't bring that one up casually in conversations.
Yeah.
Just makes people depressed. But it is, in spite of everything we just said, we don't regret doing what we've done. I have such a sense of self-worth, of like pride, of I didn't take the easy way, but I did take the honest way. I did take the authentic way. And my kids are better off because of it. They are able to actually see two different possibilities.
They do. My kids like know what the words manipulation, narcissist, and gaslighting is now, or like anxiety. I didn't know what those words were when I was a kid, and so I feel like me going through these things and just really becoming educated. And I'm teaching them now, and I feel like they have kind of an advantage of what to look for in people and situations because, lucky me, I had to go through it.
Yeah, a lot of kids, when, you know this, I know this, when they come from unhealthy homes where parents are pretending and in their cycles, that's the only blueprint they are given as they go into adulthood and into, those toxic family cycles.
Yeah, they just kind of keep repeating everything.
You just don't know anything different. But if you live and leave and you let that dam burst and flood and wipe out your entire life, and you let go of maybe the pretty home or the pretend, at least the kids have another option. They have, the blueprint of, well, mom did it this way and it was really ugly, but we actually really enjoy how we feel with her or how we feel when we're over there. We feel seen or allowed to be us.
It's another type of foundation security structure. It feels a lot more solid when you have that within yourself, like knowing who you are and what you want and what your boundaries are and just what you won't settle for again. I think you need that in order to go out into the world and actually have a strong, healthy, authentic life and relationships with others. And you can build a career, build a home, a lifestyle. These are the things I am like now learning.
Yeah, we're learning it, in our 40s rather than in our teenage years like them.
Yeah, and also because we've been through this, we are going to be there and support our children where we both did not get that from our parents. Well, I think you got like a few sprinkles.
I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I was going to say support in the way that matters.
Yeah.
And that like unconditional love support.
Yes.
So not so much.
No, you did not get that, but you are going to give that to your kids now.
Yes, they do have that. But then also, like we said, recognizing that, we can't force our kids to choose the blueprint that we made. They do have a choice, and they might choose the toxic family patterns or, the quote easy way.
Well, sometimes they just come wired really stubborn.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was wired really stubborn, so I should expect that in at least a couple of my kids.
Right, exactly.
Oh, well, gee, I wonder where you got that one from.
Mother.
I know that one's on me. Okay. Yeah. But also we wanted to talk about the fact that just because we laugh about these really dark, awful things, it does not mean that we are not respecting these really dark, awful things.
We don't take it lightly. It's just another way for us to cope with going through really hard stuff. And laughter helps to move the emotion too. And we've done a lot of ugly crying over the years, especially maybe the last year and a half.
Laughter it moves things in the same way that crying does. It's a very similar diaphragm movement to a sob.
It is. That's why sometimes you start crying too.
So just so you know, it's kind of just a more enjoyable version
than us getting on here and talking about stuff and maybe just crying and blowing our noses.
Yeah. And also, this heavy stuff, it feels like it can sink you. It can sink you, and you can plummet to the bottom of that lake with all of your possessions.
Drown. You can just drown. And some days, man, you cannot get out of that. But laughter does. It pulls you out of it.
It's like a buoy. It kind of pulls you up to the surface. Bloop, 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 bloop.
And, and it's great when you have a friend to do it with. So here you go. I hope we're kind of bring you into our dark humor.
Well, and we wanted to share our depression today. Because you're welcome. No.
Yeah.
Because being depressed is normal.
It's normal.
It is part of the healing process. It is part of the journey of integrating those traumatized parts of ourselves.
Well, and I love that I can actually be around you, and it's like, well, how you doing? I'm like, not really great. And you don't judge or try to correct it.
Have you thought about just feeling better?
Well, I just can't be around you when you feel this way.
I actually was talking to one of my children yesterday about depression, and he was complaining that so many people don't understand you can't just decide to feel better. And I feel like that was very much the generation before us, the boomer generation's mentality of just feel better. Just get out of bed and go do something, and next thing you know,
just keep a smile on your face all the time.
You'll feel better. Meanwhile, their generation was, getting lobotomies and drugging themselves so that they didn't have to feel their depression.
Yeah, and the parents barely hugged you.
Yeah, but just tough it out, put on a smile.
Just ignore those feelings.
Put on a happy face.
Just bury that fucker down deep below.
Don't worry, your grandchildren will work through it. Yeah, and so I think it's really validating to be like, if you feel like shit, be like, yeah, I feel like shit today. Well,
I was kind of feeling like shit today. Well, just kidding. I was feeling like shit today. And I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better now. So thanks for, talking with me. Thank you for you women for listening. And hopefully laughing with us too.
Yeah, if you're going through this heaviness, free woman, know that it is not forever. But
it's normal.
It's normal, and it will be for longer than you want it to be.
Yeah, that part's true. That part's, yeah, yes.
Yeah, there's several times where, I try to pull myself out of it. I'm like, let's have that cup of coffee. And then I'm like, oh no, it didn't work.
I know.
Let's go on that morning run. Oh no, it didn't work. And then you do all the things, and then you just kind of end up at the end of your hamster wheel spinning and realize I am just going to have to feel this. Yeah. This is just what I'm feeling right now.
It's just going to be one of those days where the emotions come in and we're going to feel down. We're going to feel kind of low. But you know what? When I do allow that to happen, I have to say that I don't go as deep into a shallow hole that I have been before in the past, because I never allowed myself to do that. And I was going to therapy to get help for that, because, things just start to turn off inside when you really neglect yourself for that long and that far.
Yeah, if you are able, and to me, I almost feel like I'm trapped in my body when it's happening. Like I want to just run away from it. I just want to get away from this feeling any way I can think of. But I've learned that doesn't work. And if I just stop like being like an animal clawing at the bars, and I just sit and breathe and let myself feel it and recognize we're just going to be feeling this longer than we want to be feeling this, and we're just going to have to let it happen. And then it moves, not immediately, but it does. It moves. Well, sometimes we cry a little bit. Sometimes we journal a bit. Sometimes some great creativity comes out of it. Like I'll write a song or a poem and I'll be able to move it that way. But only once I stop resisting it.
Yeah, you got to flow and go with it, which was just making me think about the weather, because this morning it was cold, dark, and raining, and now the sun's out and it's a gorgeous day. I'm like, why can't humans be allowed to have this too? We are a part of this planet, and we ebb and flow, and we have emotional bodies, and we need to be able to allow that to happen. So
yeah, and if you're living in reality, then you are going to feel that way, because there is a lot of darkness and suffering in this world. It is part of the human experience. And so we have to learn how to be able to process that. Otherwise, we just start avoiding and living in a fairy tale. And that doesn't do anyone good.
No, it doesn't. Then we just have crazy anger outbursts.
Well, and it also makes it so we don't do philanthropic things. We don't help people in need. We refuse to look at people that are suffering or issues, like genocide. Let's just not talk about that or think about that and make everything pretty all the time. And it allows really horrific things to happen if we live in this fantasy.
And then we're in such shock when those things do start to happen too. I'm like, no, this has been all around you.
It enters your life somehow because a loved one goes through something, or yeah.
Yeah, no, this is happening. So yes. You can move through it. You should move through it. You should sit with it. And if you feel like you need help, go get help too.
It doesn't make you broken. It doesn't make you less than. It doesn't mean you're failing at life to have these low days or even weeks. But humans are meant to vacillate between emotions. We are meant to be a full rainbow of all of the different colors of our interior world. And if you find yourself stuck in only one emotion, regardless of what that feeling is, but I think depression is one that gets a lot of attention, then that does need help. It does benefit from intervention. We should not only be feeling one thing. So if you are on this journey to being a free woman, then this is going to be a part of your journey. The depression, the low days, the frustration at the injustice of the world, the discouraged feelings, because as you work through those trauma patterns, it's going to make a mess. And we just want you to know that we go through those things too, and are still going through those moments of frustration and discouragement and depression.
But overall, it is worth it.
Yeah, and that's why we're here every week on the Free Woman Podcast, laughing our way through the pain.
So please join us every week. Please listen, like, subscribe, and share with other women to help to pave the way of a free woman.
Yeah, grow this community with us and know that we will always be here to laugh with you through the dark moments.
Remember to like and subscribe.